Isn't just a 21st century thing, is it? It's been the case for years and years and years. And back in the day, there was a high school graduate, and I want you guys to look this up on Wikipedia when you get home too. There was a high school graduate who sat in front of the man who invented those things right up there, the light bulb. This high school graduate sat right in front of Thomas Edison, and he said, "Edison, I got 3 questions for you. I need some clarity." He said, number 1, how do you, and I love this word, thrive? And number 2, he said, how do you succeed? And number 3, he said, why the light bulb? And Edison, barely without hesitating, without even taking one breath, said to the kid, "Here's what I do. Get a pen, write it down. I find out what the world needs, and then I proceed to invent." The kid didn't write it down. And Edison said, I said, write it down. This is how you thrive. This is how you succeed. This is how you align you with your world. Find out what the world needs. Open up your eyes to what the world needs, and then proceed to invent. If we look at our world today, if we have the courage as graduates to open up our eyes to what the world needs, do it with me right now. We see 1 billion people living on less than $1 a day, and 2 billion people living on less than $2 a day, and 66 million kids as we graduate today that have never ever darkened a schoolhouse door. We see 20,000 kids dying of 4 things: TB, malaria, AIDS and HIV, and conditions related to not having one clean glass of water to drink in their entire lives, of which 1 billion people every single day are denied, and another billion go to bed hungry every single night. 2 billion people live in a state called energy poverty, without light or heat or transportation of any kind. You think you're hot right now. The world's biggest needs aren't isolated to human beings. Environmental devastation all around us, 70 million tons of CO2 puffed up in our atmosphere every day like it's a smeltering open sewer. Every single second, if we have the courage to open up our ears, we can hear a football-sized field of rainforest being ripped out and thrown into the back of a flatbed truck. If we have the courage to use our education to read, we see what scientists are saying, that we're facing something called the 6th extinction, where 50% of all the plants and all the animal species just gone by 2050. If we have the courage to have empathy for things that aren't necessarily human beings, we see the 70 billion animals trapped behind the walls of factory farms every single day. If we have the courage to find out what the world needs, we could do 2 things. We could be apathetic. We could pretend it doesn't exist. We could complain to our neighbors and whine about it and bang our heads against the wall. But let's dump those 2 things in the dumpster of yesterday. Because instead of complaining and instead of being apathetic, here's what I want you to do. I want you to invent your life. Because solving the world's greatest needs is good for you. Solving the world's greatest needs intersects with phenomenal career opportunities for you to engage for you to engage your strengths, for you to find your passion, for you to find meaning, and parents, I promise, to make money too. Finding the world's greatest needs is your key to thriving in the 21st century. Selflessness, graduates, is profitable. Selflessness is profitable. Now, I had no idea what I wanted to do when I graduated from high school. I barely had a clue what I wanted to do when I graduated from college, and a little bit more of a clue when I graduated from law school. But about 8 years ago, I began this journey. I began this journey to see if I could engage my passions, my strengths, and put them to use to make the world a better place. And as a part of that journey, about 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to go to this tiny little place called Monrovia, Liberia. Now, all you guys probably know about Monrovia, Liberia is the movie Blood Diamond. Anyone ever see Blood Diamond? Leonardo, there you go. Blood Diamond fans right there. Now, Blood Diamond depicted a place that had been ravaged by civil war for the past 2 decades. Guys, if you ever go, you'll walk around the street, sadly, you'll see people with 1 arm, no legs, amputations all over the place, bullet holes littering the walls, craters in the ground. 3 million people live there, the 3rd poorest country on the planet. And it was my job in Liberia to use what I'm kind of good at, what I'm a little passionate about, the law, to make a difference in the lives of people living there. And I was trying my best to do this, guys. I was in a hotel around 7:30 p.m. at night, And I was at that hope